For today's project, I want to do a Veterans Day picture. And I'm going to draw this flag step by step, and it's really not that hard to do. If you take your time and follow along, it should turn out just fine. And then after we get that, it's up to you what else you put in here. It's based on what I see when I attend Veterans Day events, usually the weekend before Veterans Day. Now, I don't have the crowds of people, but very often you'll see flags and you'll see maybe a military flyover, and then just some trees for some bright colors. So there's some things you can do to make yours different, so you're welcome to use your ideas along the way. And then we'll spell out Happy Veterans Day on there somewhere. And if you want to do that in bubble letters or double stroke letters, that'll be great. All right, we need to put our paper in the portrait direction, which is like this: long way, tall way. And I'm going to go down from the bottom, and I'm going to go up about this far. Put a dot. Now it's hard to see, but it's right at my finger. And I'm just going to stretch that line out. I'm going to turn the paper so that I'm more comfortable. I'm just going to stretch that line out. And go ahead and hook back on that line and stretch it on out and take it off the left-hand side of the paper like that. Come down about this far again and put a dot. And that's going to be the top of my flagpole, so I'll make a circle there. I'm not going to use a ruler, but I am going to sketch a line best I can, nice and straight down. I want to come down into this area a little bit, and then we'll go back and do a parallel line. That's just two lines that go side by side. Just watch that spacing. It's not hard to do. Just side by side. Just let your eyes tell you what to do. You can listen to my words, and I want you to. That's important. But you can tell more by looking at it than any other way. Now, if yours is not perfectly straight, I think it'll be okay. At the bottom of the flagpole, I'm just going to make that round like that. Okay, now watch. Don't get lost on this. This is simple. Stretch it out here, stretch it out there. Now notice I'm up just a little ways from the end. Now we're going to put a longer line. Just drop down a little bit and put a line like this, but make sure it's longer than this one up here. Ever how long that one is, make this one longer. Turn this into a little rectangle, because a lot of times flagpoles sit on these concrete stands or bases. And then just connect the corners up with slanted lines. If your lines don't slant, then you didn't draw that long enough down here. Okay. We'll darken that in just a little bit where it goes into the concrete. And then I'm going to hatch some shading right on this edge. Shading is done with just strokes that fill in an area to darken it. Okay, now for the flag. Let's see if I can get zoomed in a little bit on this. Hold on. Alright, I'm going to hook on here, and I'm going to jump down, and I'm going to hook on here. 2 points with a very gentle curving line fit between them. I'm going to do the next part with a pencil because I may need to erase, and I can't erase a pen. I'm going to come over about 2 fingers. I'm coming over about 2 fingers worth, and at that point I'm going to curve this. I'm going to curve this line back. I'm going to bend it all the way around and bring it back a little bit, not far. It's like a backward S. Now I'm going to curve it and bend it back the other way, and I'm going to go out again, maybe about 2 fingers, definitely not more, so that that and that are about the same. Now they don't have to be perfect, but about the same will work great. Alright, while you're working on that, I'll darken mine in. Alright, now we're just going to go right back in here and do a little shortcut. Just shortcut right there. Alright, now we're going to the top. Now just stay with me. If you get behind, it may be a little confusing, but this is not really that hard to do. We're going to do the 2-finger thing again. I'm just going to go there and jump over. And I can look and see. I want to be lined up. I want to be lined up with this. I want to be really straight up from here. And I'll put a little dot just as a reminder of how far out we're going to come. Now I'm going to bring this line out. I'll turn it. Well, let's see. I want you to be able to see me make the line. See if I can get my hand in a position where you can see. I want to come out, and I don't want to go straight into that dot. I want to curve it through that dot. And then I want to come down nice and neatly with a little bit of a bow. See, I've got this gentle curve in this. I want to have a little bit of a curve in this one as well. If you don't get it, it'll be okay. Now, here's the important part. When you come down to this backward S, just slide right onto it. Just nice and smooth, slide right onto it, just like that. Now go back up this line, right in here somewhere. Just let your eyes tell you where to put that. And we want to be above this right here. So we could go ahead and make the line up, but I think I'll bring the line out. And if it's a little shorter than this one, it'll still work, because now all we need to do is connect these two lines together on the ends, and there's our wavy flag. Okay, now for the field of stars, just go up in here anywhere and go ahead and make a rectangular shape there. And I'm going to give you the pattern for stars, and I'm not going to draw stars. I'm going to use dots because it's all going to look, about the same from a distance. There's not room to do the detail anyway, so I'm going to give you the pattern for the stars, and there's just not room to draw them. But there are 6 to start with on the top line, and underneath those 6 there's 5 kind of fit under the gaps. Okay, you repeat the 6 and 5 4 times. That gives you 44, and then the last row once again is 6. So 44 and 6 will give us 50. That's 50 stars. Now if you don't end up with 50, and I can tell you I'm not going to, I never do, the spacing is just not going to work out perfectly. So if you fill this up with lines of 6 and 5, anybody that views it will get the idea that this is a flag. Now if you want to take the time to figure that out and make it work out exactly 6 and 5 to, enough times to make 50, that's fine. But you would need 4 rows of 6 and 5 combinations. Well, that didn't make sense, but anyway, you need 6, 5, 4 times, and then end with a 6. Okay, now there are 13 stripes. There are 7 red and 6 white stripes. So I don't think it's going to be important that you get the right number, because this is just a simple graphic that's just meant to convey the idea of a flag. But the bottom line, the bottom is red and the top one is red, and it's just a matter of putting them in between. Now when I come across like this, I'm going to bend it as if it's following that same curve. And it's not important that you count these stripes so much. I'm not even going to count them. I'm just going to space them out until it looks good, in my opinion. Now when you get up in here, these are just little curved lines like that. And you don't have to worry too much about this turning out perfect, because just when you take a glance at it, it looks like a flag. Now when you go back and color it, if you want to do a little more, detail, straighten these lines up or bring them on out, that's fine. But this is just a simple graphic design. Didn't really intend for it to be perfect in that regard because it would just take way too long to try to get that perfect. Alright, let me zoom back out. And we've got room to write Happy Veterans Day up here. And that's really important. And we will get to that. But next I want to do a few little trees down here, and then I'm going to draw an airplane. Oh, I'll probably put it right here. Okay, when I do clusters of trees, I usually do just combinations of 3 or 4 curved lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes I go uphill with them. And I don't think I'm going to take these all the way across. I'm going to stop mine off about halfway across, or a little more. Now you can do differently. Yours does not have to be an exact copy of mine. I'm fine with it if you do make a copy of mine. That's why I'm leading you through the steps. Now there's a lot we could do on the foreground, which is the area close to us. This would be the foreground. And I may leave that for your creative thinking. I'm going to draw an airplane right in here. And if you want to copy the airplane, then watch. Now, I wouldn't draw it up here in the area of the flag unless you've got quite a bit of room through here, and you should, unless you drew that flag huge, you should have some room in here. But I'm going to make a jelly bean shape. Where to put it. I'm always thinking composition and design. It's a jelly bean shape. And I think I'm going to zoom in again. That's our object to focus on. And I go right there and I stretch out a line like that, 2 of them. And I'm studying it now. I'm trying to determine if I've got this line and this line the same. Yeah, I think I'm okay. Okay, next, you just want to get your pencil right down on the bottom of this jelly bean shape and just bring it out to meet the other line. Turn your paper and get comfortable. Whatever is comfortable for you will be your best way to do it. And then when you fill that in black, and we can really do that later, I've got a pen that's dark enough to make it just black enough. It's going to be really hard to color that with a crayon anyway because it's so thin. Fat crayons don't do too well with that. Alright, now this will get this little dot I put there to kind of show the center. That's going to get covered up when you color it anyway. Looks good for the time being though. Okay, I'm going to put a small rainbow shape right on top of that. I'm going to come out the top of that with a straight up and down line. I might make it a little bit thicker at the bottom, but not much. I don't want that to get ugly on me. And then I go right through here with the stabilizer, which is that kind of rear wing looking thing. And then I'm going to come under here. It's like a smiley face curve. It's an air scoop, really. And then I'm going to put just a couple of little pieces like this. Those aren't landing gear. I see them on a lot of the military aircraft. And so I'm going to include it there. And that's a simple way, draw what I believe to be a pretty decent looking airplane. Now, let's see. I may put the sun in the sky somewhere, but I'm going to get that Happy Veterans Day on there first. Now, I'm going to do bubble letters, but you don't have to. You can do your own thing. You don't even have to say Happy Veterans Day. You can say whatever you want it to say. I'm going to try to figure out, let's see, Happy Veterans Day, maybe. I may not line them up, one over top the other. It's going to start kind of over here, and that should leave me plenty of room for the rest of it. So, the Happy, you can do the basic letter and then change it into bubble letters. Now, if you don't want to do the bubble letters, don't do them. Just do it with straight lines. Because some of these are a little bit tough and some of them look a little bit strange when you start, doubling up the strokes. And usually on the round parts, I'll try to make them a little bit bigger because I know, it's difficult to get that second line in there if you don't. Yeah, that P's not looking really good. I should have put the back piece down first. You know what? You might be better at these than me, and that's fine if you are. I'd be happy. Oh, and hey, by the way, there's Happy. Happy Veterans Day. Yeah, okay. I'm going to back up under this one a little bit, and I'm going to put my V like that. E's are a little bit tough. I make the top rounded part pretty big because got to get that double stroke in there. And it's so easy when you're concentrating on making the bubble letters to misspell a word. I've done it many times. So think about your letters. If you're doing yours differently, that's fine. And when I spell out veterans, I'm going to spell it V-E-T-E-R-A-N-S. A lot of times I'll put that apostrophe S because it seems like it's a day belonging to veterans, which in that case it'd be the apostrophe after the S. But I looked that up on the website and it said no, it's just veterans plural. Alright, now the S is extremely difficult to do, so I don't even wrestle with it. I make a normal S, and then when I double it up, I just let it hook on like that. And then I just start back here and finish it. And you end up with that little crossover piece in the S. But it's a quick and easy way to do a difficult letter. Now I backed up a couple letters over there for the veterans, so I think I'll back up a couple letters over here. Make my normal D, double stroke it. I'm going to make my A like a C this time. I didn't do that earlier and it didn't turn out so great. And then if you want to put an exclamation point, you can, or you can leave that off. Now we could put a little sun up here. I like that. It's just a place to put some bright yellow for contrast. I like to put these little marks to show that it's shiny. And there we go. The rest of it is coloring. Let's see if I can zoom out and get the whole thing. And I'm really anxious to see how well these turn out. I can't get the whole thing on screen because the camera angle just isn't going to allow me to do it. But anyway, there we go. Okay, now if you can get yours colored, and well, there's not enough time to color it, but work on the coloring. Or if you want to add some other things, we didn't do anything in the foreground. If you want to add some things, that's fine. Did not try to work with that foreground much. It just wasn't going to be time to do it anyway. And there I go with some detail again. I tell you, I can't leave it alone. Get these trees, and they look blank, so I stuck some tree limbs in. Tree trunks in there. All right, and there's our flag. Now, It's a little bit short, but hey, it looks like a flag, so I think we're good. All right, hope that was fun. Enjoy the coloring. And oh yeah, I would make that plain black.